Thank you, Madam Chair. The first bill I introduced as a member of Congress was to permanently designate fentanyl analogs as a Schedule I drug. At the beginning of this Congress, I again introduced the Stopping Overdoses of Fentanyl Analogs Act, which shares the same acronym as the organization Saving Others for Archie. The Boudreaux family from Oconomowoc, Wisconsin in the 5th District lost their son Archie from a fentanyl overdose on May 15th, 2014. Since then, Lori has dedicated herself to raising awareness of the dangers of drug addiction, really not only in my part of the state, but throughout Wisconsin. And it's my hope that we can pass a permanent designation of fentanyl analogs to Schedule I this Congress, not only to honor Archie, obviously, and the countless other victims of fentanyl overdose throughout the years, but to further underscore the entire mechanism in which fentanyl is being trafficked throughout the state. And I know that many of you have deep expertise kind of in this area, but you know, we in Congress, I think, once again are seeing that the cartels, Sinaloa, Jalisco, they're just deeply involved and have relationships with China. And it's not only in fentanyl production, but also, as we sit here today, the money laundering issue. So, a question for Mr. M. And I know there'd be a little bit of a redundancy here because I know this question was asked before, but one of the problems when you talk to law enforcement is just the tracking. And you know, if you can get the tracking down, then you can follow the money laundering and you can follow kind of, in particular, the increase in the encrypted communication apps. And the one that obviously most members of Congress are focused on is WeChat right now. So I just want you to comment kind of in general, other avenues or other ways that this money laundering might be happening outside of just kind of high tech as it exists right now.
Thank you for the question. They use both high-tech and traditional bulk currency movements. They rely on that. It's not just in the United States itself alone or North America. It's also in Europe. Anywhere where you have huge, large bulk currencies of drugs or illicit proceeds, they're going to rely upon these pools of funds. Why? Because there's a transfer of wealth that's taking place outside of China in the billions. And they need technologies such as these mobile platforms, such as communication platforms, such as WeChat and Gmail and Twitter and all these other type of communication apps and mobile payment apps. And these technologies, the companies that own these technologies are aware of what's taking place. The question is, how much of an effort are they really placing? How much investments and cost measures are they putting in there to increase their content moderation, to understand what the threats are? Most of the information is out there in the open. They can do much more. I'm not sure how much money they're really investing in moderating this content and threat. We've given them thousands of pages of documents, most of it or all of it just about on the social media or on the internet, on open source information, and they're still out there on their platforms. So compel them to police up their own activities. Law enforcement has a tough job of its own right now. Okay? We need the Justice Department. We need prosecutors to prosecute to the fullest. Why? Because if they're not prosecuting even a low-level distributor or dealer, and that person is not going to cooperate because he's not getting the full sentence, there's no incentive for that person to cooperate, for law enforcement to get to that next level and to the next level higher. It's a tool and effective way for us to identify the top leaders of not only the traffickers, but also the money brokers. Every time DEA or other law enforcement will seize a Chinese courier with $500,000, $1 million in cash, they'll just let him go. And there's no incentive for that person to cooperate, to give him that cash. Who gave him that cash?
And that's why I think the foundation, or certainly the simplest thing that Congress can do right now, is to once again move towards making fentanyl Schedule I. If we can get to that place, I think it would give prosecutors one more tool that they need right now to fulfill kind of the goal of getting fentanyl off the streets. So I yield back. Thank you.